Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful West Coast Canada here in Victoria, the Garden City. I hope everybody has had a super week and I hope your weekend is off to a great start. Hi Janil, hi Baljit, Gunkai, Kyber, nice to see our members in the class. Students, this is a members chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. To become a member of our channel, simply click the join button next to the subscribe button and choose the tier that's right for you. If you do not see that join button next to the subscribe button, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I will help you further with some more instructions. In this class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS Task 2 writing. We're focusing on writing a Band 9 paper. And again, as usual, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Both of our websites have awesome materials to help you improve and get the highest band scores. We're extremely popular, and we just sent out a newsletter to all people registered to the website. You can get a discount. Again, we have these discounts for the start of the year. You can get a 20% discount when you sign up for the premium course. The discount is PASS IELTS. So use the code PASS IELTS. I'll show you in a second where you can do that. So you can use that code. Again, here is what our websites look like. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com, and you can click this big red button here that's just right by my head to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. You can click that and you click this use coupon code and then you type in PASS IELTS and you will get your discount. Same idea for general IELTS. It's the green background at gieltshelp.com. Click this red button there and you're off to the races. Computer-based practice exams, lesson videos, strategies, lots more. Hi Bakrat, welcome to our chat moderator Carolina. Hi Cass, nice to see many of our members joining in. Students, again, task 2 today, and we're going to get into it ASAP. Our apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can get our apps from your app stores, link them to your web accounts, and you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. So check that out. You can see our schedules, daily vocabulary, and much more. We have task 2 writing right now, then we'll have reading for everyone. So you will be able to chat in the next class. It's coming up in 90 minutes. We'll have a reading passage. And now let's get into our writing. So let's really buckle down and get into this task. So task 2 writing, the first step always is slowly and carefully read the question, okay? Don't rush the question. Make sure that you understand it. So here we go, students. Let's do this. Focus now. Focus. I see a lot of chat in the chat, which is okay, but let's get focused on this question, all right? So here we go. IELTS Task 2 writing. Many people set goals at the start of a new year, such as a diet plan or exercise routine. However, lots of individuals often fail to achieve these goals. What are the reasons for their failure and how could they be successful to reach their goals? Include relevant examples and explanations from your own experience. I came up with this question. This is definitely a question you could get on your next IELTS exam. So students, never try to predict what your task 2 question will be because they just have so many millions of different questions that they can ask you for task 2. So here it's much more important to pay attention to strategy. You have to write at least 250 words. Okay, again, keep in mind, everyone, that band 7 to 9 essays are closer to 320 words even, okay? So keep that in mind. They're not just exactly 250 words, all right? 250 words is actually not that much for someone to write in 40 minutes who is very good in English, okay? And a band 8 means you're very good in English. So 250 words in 40 minutes, when many people have a typing speed of 40 to 50 words per minute, it's not a lot of words, okay? So it might seem like it, but it's not if you're going for those high band scores, okay? All right. So in this essay, we're writing a persuasive essay, okay? A persuasive essay is one of the main types of essays. It means your goal is to convince your reader of your ideas, okay? This essay is mostly first-person voice. It means use I, me, my in the essay because it is asking for your opinion and for your experiences. Okay, so it makes sense in this case. And this type of task 2 question, by the way, could be for general or academic IELTS as well. Gunkai says, usually when it reaches 250 words, my time has always been exhausted. Yeah, Gunkai, so you have to, improve a little bit on your English, on your typing speed, so that you can read that. When I wrote my IELTS exam in February of last year, I actually wrote like 550 or 600 words, which was a bit too much. So you can really kind of go the other way as well, because I should have written a little bit of a shorter essay and paid more attention to the quality of my writing, okay? So you have to find that sweet spot, and that sweet spot's around 320 words or so, okay? All right, so persuasive essay written in the first person voice. The goal here is to explain reasons and solutions, okay? So it's a reasons and solutions type of essay, all right? Within the persuasive essay confounds, all right? So your first step always, when you're practicing at home especially, but I think even during the official IELTS, this is a really good idea, is to just paraphrase, okay? This is not your introduction. So step 2, after reading, okay? So paraphrase the question to gather ideas and vocabulary. All right, so I'm going to do that with you now. I'm going to paraphrase this. Now, a lot of people think this is your introduction. It's not really your introduction. It can become parts of your essay, and it could potentially become a part of your introduction, but you have to be careful, okay? The introduction is not just a paraphrase of a question. It's a little bit more than that, all right? So let's do this. So paraphrase, and I'll paraphrase, and then we'll compare, okay? All right. So this is my paraphrase, and I'm picking synonyms. Paraphrasing in IELTS is extremely important throughout the entire test. Why? Because paraphrasing shows understanding, and it shows dynamic vocabulary. It shows high levels of English. Okay, so this is what I wrote. Let's take a look at what I have, and then we'll take a look at what some of our members are writing. So again, the original question, and this is how you should do it at home. Reread the original, and then reread your paraphrase. If you're not being successful at paraphrasing, use the thesaurus if you have to. Okay, so this is in Microsoft Word, and these give you synonyms. When you're preparing for the IELTS, I highly recommend having an English version of Microsoft Word installed. Okay, so use the thesaurus in MS Word to find synonyms when you get stuck. Okay, or you can use Google as well. It's also very useful. All right, so here is the original question. Many people set goals at the start of the new year, such as a diet plan or exercise routine. However, lots of individuals often fail to achieve these goals. What are the reasons for their failure, and how could they be successful to reach their goals? Include relevant examples and explanations from your own experience. And here I said, okay, lots of individuals, and they use this but in a different context. So many people, lots of individuals have a New Year's resolution, or have, yeah, okay, I should be careful, have New Year's resolutions, because it's many people. Let's take out the that's not good. So lots of individuals have New Year's resolutions, those goals that people set at the New Year's, like I'm going to get a band 8 in IELTS this year, or I'm going to lose 5 kilos this year. Those are called New Year's resolutions, okay? Such as losing weight. Yeah, like a diet plan is usually about losing weight, and exercise routine is exercising regularly. So here I'm changing the grammar a little bit. Instead of however, I'm using nevertheless. Many of these people do not reach their targets. What leads to this failure, and what steps can be taken to overcome this? Include your own life experiences to explain. Okay, so that's my paraphrase. That seems to work. Let's see what other people have. Okay, all right. So this is our members here, and our members are in the chat, and they're putting in their own kind of paraphrasing. Okay. Amrinder, don't worry too much about it. I mean, you've practiced all that you can. Just be confident, be yourself in your exam, okay? And I wish you good luck on your exam tomorrow. All right. Okay, let's see what Arda wrote here. So this is Arda. Let me just, I'm gonna grab a couple of your writings here, and then we'll stick this in here and go over it, okay, Arda? So I've got the rest of it here. So this is Arda's writing here, and let's take a look now to see how well you paraphrased. Let me just increase the size so it's a bit more visible for everyone, and then we'll review. So millions of individuals meet targets in the beginning. Watch your spelling here. In the beginning of, yeah, there we go. Millions of individuals meet targets in the beginning of a new year. I'm not sure if they meet targets. I don't think the question says that, Arda, so be careful. Have new targets, okay? In the beginning of the new year, beginning of a year, you don't have to have new year because you have beginning. Let's be concise. Some of them desire to lose weight or work out regularly. Nevertheless, you should use a semicolon there. Nevertheless, always put a space after your punctuation, Arda. It does look really bad when you don't do that. Certain people lose faith in their aims Okay, are you sure they lose faith in their aims? I don't think the question says that, Arda. So you have to be really careful when you're paraphrasing not to give your own opinion or to change the meaning of what they're saying. That could be one of the reasons they don't achieve their goals, is that they lose faith, right? So you're almost answering the question instead of paraphrasing it. You have to be really careful, okay? So certain people, and it's not just certain, nevertheless, many people, right, fail in their aims, okay? And if you want to paraphrase fail, you can use the word falter in their aims. What are the causes for their, we don't say non-success, lack of success, okay? How could they reach their, how could they achieve or accomplish? We don't say reach a wish, we say accomplish their wish. And even desire would be a better word there. Provide examples from your own life. Okay, good. So now it's accurate. Okay, so quite a bit of fixing there, Arda. Pay attention, all right? Okay, this is Jyoti here. So I'm just going to grab another one here. All right, we'll just take a couple each time. Okay, so we have Arda and Jyoti. I'll grab different people for different components of this exercise. So let's do this. Okay, so Jyoti paraphrases, numerous individuals make resolutions on the first day of the calendar year, like dietary restrictions or physical activities. Very nice. I love it. That's some really nice paraphrasing there. Again, you can use a comma. I like the semicolon more, the long break. Nevertheless, certain inhabitants is awkward here, okay? So nevertheless, and it's not just certain, it's nevertheless, we can switch this up. So we can say frequently, people fail to succeed in these missions. It's not those missions, it's these missions. Those, it's okay. I think these is more accurate, in these missions. And don't forget the rest of it, Jyoti. I'm not sure if you have the rest of it. Let's see. So Jyoti, always paraphrase the full question, okay? So it locks into your mind that you have to really pay attention to all those pieces, okay? So what leads to these failures? And what can be done to avoid this? Okay, so there's a bit more paraphrasing there. Provide support from your own background. Okay, so there's another way to paraphrase that. All right, so lots of ways to say the same information. Again, practice this at home so that you can do it very quickly during your IELTS exam. So you're not using much of your 40 minutes to do this, okay? All right, Cass, Baljit, and other students, good job on the paraphrasing. So now, let's go to the next step. So what is the next step here, students? Step number 3. So we've read the question carefully. We've paraphrased it. We already know it's a persuasive essay in the first person voice. We know that we have to give reasons and solutions. So what's the next step? What do I do after that? This is a really, really important step. You should never, ever begin writing without actively and attentively paying attention to this step. Bakrat says ask questions. Yeah, you mean critically think about it, Bakrat. That's right, but there is another one. Kyber, I don't always go in rank order of first, second, third. I just pick different people. So go for the, the topic, sentence, and so on, and I'll find you there, okay? All right, Jaineel, identify the topic and the controlling ideas. Yeah, absolutely. So identify the topic and controlling ideas. And what are those here? So what is the topic? Okay. What are we talking about? What are we specifically talking about? And you're going to see why it's so important to identify the topic accurately, because sometimes people think about the topic and then they realize, oh, wait a second, that's not actually what we're talking about here, right? So think about the topic. Carolina says thesis. Yeah, Carolina, I mean, the thesis does come pretty quick, especially in the official IELTS exam. You should have your thesis within the first 3 minutes. But it's definitely a good idea to think about some questions, some ideas before the thesis, and especially identifying the topic. So Carolina says, we're talking about achieving goals. I don't think so, Carolina. Okay. Arta says, how to meet targets. I don't think that's what we're talking about exactly, Arta, if you look at the question carefully. Bakrat says it's planning to achieve goals. I don't think so. Rashika says New Year's achievement. Baljit says New Year's resolution. Yeah, Jyoti, very good. So Jyoti has the right one. Okay, Jyoti's the first one. Yeah. Okay. So Jyoti says the topic here that we're talking about is the failure to achieve New Year's resolution. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. If you look at the question, right? Here's the question. Many people set goals at the start of the new year. However, lots of individuals fail to achieve these goals. This first part here sets up the topic. Does everybody clearly see that now? That this first part sets up the topic. So this first part, when you have this kind of a sentence, that's your topic. And to make that more concise, it means failure to achieve New Year's resolutions. Okay? Hopefully everybody sees that now. All right? Okay? So that's what's going on there. Okay? And now the controlling ideas, of course, that's the rest of the question. Okay? And this is what I mean by you have to be really attentive to what you're writing about. Okay, Janelle says, yes, I got that now. Right, so controlling idea is reasons for the failure and solutions to avoid it. Okay, when you have the right topic, when you have the right controlling idea, then you know that you do. You're like, okay, yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's the controlling ideas around it. Okay. All right. So first of all, what is a New Year's resolution? So our next step here, step 5, I believe. Yeah, step 4 is to think critically. So think critically about the topic and the controlling idea. Okay, and I'm going to do this quickly because I really want to get into our writing today and just kind of reflect on what you're doing, right? So I'll kind of go with you here, and if you have some suggestions, if you have some advice, please tell me. I don't know if I have the perfect answer. I don't know if there is such a thing as the perfect answer. So the more that we share our knowledge, the more we're able to develop our thinking. Okay, so I'm just going to fly along here. Go with me, but also give your own input. So what is a New Year's resolution? Okay, so here's my answer. Okay, in my mind as I'm thinking about this and planning for this essay, it is a major goal that changes an individual's life for better. Okay, so usually these are major goals. They're not like little things. They're not like, okay, my New Year's resolution is to count to 100. Usually it's not that. Okay, usually it's something quite significant that has a big impact on a person's life because it's something that they feel they need to change, like quitting smoking, losing weight, exercising, earning more money, contacting their extended family more often. So, it's these kinds of things, right? Okay, adopting maybe a new hobby like fishing or something that really has a positive effect, okay? All right. So Arda says it's a New Year's resolution is basically a goal aimed by a person for the new year. Yeah. So it's a major goal that changes an individual's life for the better, set during the start of January. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I mean, Arda, is that you have an important point there, which is set during the start of January. Yeah. So the start of the new year, right? We have to remember that. That's an important part of this, right? Why do people make New Year's resolutions? So here's a very important question, right? So why does it even exist, right? This concept. So it's popular. I think it's something that's all around the world. I should ask, I'm maybe just assuming this. I know New Year's resolutions are very popular in Europe and in North America. Just out of curiosity, is this popular in other parts of the world, like Carolina in South America or Jainil in Asia? Do they kind of have these New Year's resolutions? Like, do people say this or talk about this? Like, do they ask each other like, hey, what's your New Year's resolution? And then the person's like, oh, this year I really want to lose like 5 kilos. Because I'm maybe just assuming that it's a global phenomenon, and it's not. Maybe in some parts of the world people are like, I don't know, there's nothing like that here. Okay, Gunkai Ren says yes, we do it in China. Cass says yes, it's popular in Manila. Carolina says some people do it. Okay, Kyber says in Afghanistan, yes. Okay, so it does seem like it's a global phenomenon, so it's not just in Canada or in the UK or something like that, okay? Okay, Arda says, yes, like me, I promise that I will become a native speaker in English and do fitness. Okay, good. Yeah, New Year's resolutions, they're great, okay? I'm always promising myself to be more fit, to be more focused, absolutely. Yeah, Cass says people write it in their journals or post it in a blog. And Cass, you're kind of almost jumping to the how question there, which is very good. Okay, so why do people set New Year's resolutions? I'm just going to go New Year resolutions like that. Okay, I'm not going to obviously rewrite New Year's every time. So why do people do this? Because they feel that they need to improve, and the start of the year is a fresh motivation for them to achieve betterment. Okay, so that would be my answer there. So why do people set this? Because they realize that, oh, another year is gone. I still haven't lost my 5 kilos. I still feel tired after walking a kilometer, and it's time for me to change. I want something positive in my life, so I'm going to achieve this by this new year, this fresh start. It's January 2022. Let's do this, right? So then the next question is how. So how do people do this? Okay, they set a goal like regular exercise and write it in their journal or blog. Sure. Yeah, so that's possible. Okay. Yeah, so Cass says to nudge people to be a better individual in the start of the year. Okay, good. So now let's jump kind of to these other questions, and you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you go through these what, why, how questions quickly. Okay, what is a failure? Okay, so let's do this nice and fast. I think we're gonna get some smiles here. So what would you consider as a failed New Year's resolution? I bet you were gonna have some different ideas, but some good ideas around this, all right? All right, so what would be considered a failure? When would you know, the New Year's resolution be featured on the fail army videos on YouTube? Like, meow, meow, meow. Cass says not losing any pounds at all. I think that's the how, Cass, or maybe even gaining weight, right? Instead of losing weight, gaining another 10 pounds or 5 kilos over the next month. That would definitely be a big failure. Okay, let's just keep it simpler though. Let's be more specific. Carolina got a good chuckle out of that. Yeah, absolutely. Not the reasons yet. Not the reasons. So we're not asking why people fail. We're asking what is considered a failure. Okay, so not starting the behavior, right? You're not even starting, okay? Or that's what I would consider a failure, okay? Yeah, Mal says kind of similarly, not a failure is not trying to stick with the program and giving up as soon as the challenge gets harder. Yeah, Baljit says when someone says I quit smoking in the new year, but after a few days you see them doing it. Okay, yeah. So why? Now let's ask why do people fail? Okay, and I think this is a great Task 2 topic. Why? Because we're in the new year, everybody. It's just January 7th, and I'm really hoping that you know, you're learning lots of IELTS and Task 2, and like I say, this could be a Task 2 question, but I'm also hoping that if you have some New Year's resolutions, we can come up with a viable and effective solution to this, right? All right, so why do people fail? So Preeti says because after 2 days, they feel bored and maybe busy with other stuff. Okay, so Preeti, try to simplify that. Okay, they lack discipline. They lack the discipline to maintain their routine, right? So they just, you know, they're like, I'm going to get up at 5:30 every morning and go for a run. But then they're like, oh, I kind of feel tired today. Well, my leg's a little bit sore. I'm just going to get another hour of sleep. And then they give up, right? So that means lacking discipline, right? Discipline has multiple meanings, and discipline means that you have the motivation, you have the mindset to achieve your goals. So they lack the discipline to maintain their routine. Okay. Cass says I'm guilty. Janiel says procrastination. Yeah, Janiel, procrastination is kind of the same idea. Okay, so it's a synonym. And if you think of a synonym, so to lack discipline is to procrastinate in many ways. Okay. All right. Gunkai Ren says they need persistence. Yeah, persistence and discipline are connected. Yeah. Optimistic. Okay. They lose faith. They lose optimism. Prioritizing. Okay, I'd say another big one is making the New Year's resolution a priority. Okay, so I saw this, a couple people said like hectic lifestyle. All right, so a lot of people do this. A lot of people say, I'm going to exercise 30 minutes every day. And then they say, oh, I can't because I have kids and because I have to cook and I have to go to my work and I'm tired. But you know what? That's kind of an ironic excuse, because 30 minutes of exercise each day will actually give you way more energy, will make you way more efficient. You need less sleep, So in fact, you're able to do all of your tasks, your responsibilities much better with a much more positive mood. Does everybody follow me on that, right? So we kind of get into these false concepts, right? And we don't prioritize. Priority means to set that goal as your number one. It means come hell or high water, from 6 to 6:30, I'm doing 30 minutes of yoga, okay? All right, so how they come up with excuses for not achieving their New Year's resolutions. Okay, all right, so I'm kind of giving you some of my own wisdoms here as well through this lesson, and I hope you're picking that up. Okay, so what are some solutions? Let's get into that real quick, okay? I want to kind of, I definitely want to get our introductory paragraph done with you today, but I really want to motivate you for your New Year's resolution, and I want to show you how to plan this out effectively, visualize it. And I think this topic is really good because it's pertinent, it's now, it's the start of 2022, and I think a lot of you have these New Year's goals, and I think a lot of you are visualizing this, right? So, what are some solutions? What are solutions to create discipline and priority to achieve? We can be specific with this. Okay, so what are solutions to create the discipline and priority to achieve New Year's resolutions? Okay. What do you think? And I think this is a very important step when you set a New Year's resolution. Is don't just think of your resolution, but think about how you're going to achieve that, right? Okay, so Baljit says having realistic goals. Make sure goals are realistic. Yeah, absolutely. So don't say, okay, I'm going to run 10 kilometers tomorrow, but say, I'm going to start with just a 2-kilometer jog, and as soon as I start to feel better and stronger, I'll make it longer and longer. Yeah, very good. So start from easy to hard. Yeah, start. So have a step-by-step system. Very good. Don't try to see, your whole goal right away. Like, don't be like, okay, I'm going to lose 20 kilos by the end of the year. Say, I'm going to lose, half a kilo by the end of this month. Okay? Janelle says, create a proper schedule with an alarm and find a partner. I don't like that one. I don't think it's good to rely on others, because if they quit, then you might quit as well. But that's okay. All right. Okay. And one of the most important elements that I believe is important for a successful New Year's resolution is never quit in the face of adversity. Okay? So never quit in the face of adversity. That means that if your leg is a little bit sore, put some muscle relaxant cream on it and go run. Stretch a little bit more and go run. If you feel a little bit tired, go run. Okay? If you feel you have a little bit of a stomach ache, drink some water, go run. Okay, so don't quit. Of course, I'm not telling you to break yourself and break your body, but definitely don't quit in the face of adversity. We humans are much stronger than we think, right? So don't quit in the face of adversity, in the face of a challenge. All right, I think that's very, very important. So here are some solutions. Right now, be careful. You might not have time to write about all of these in a 250-word essay, so you have to choose wisely, okay? All right. Arda says, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go do 50 push-ups after class. Good for you, Arda. I'm thinking the same. I'm going to go for a run after, not this class, but the next one. So I'll teach the next class, the reading class, and then I'll go for a run. But if you don't see me in the reading class, it means I've gone for a run. No, I'm kidding. I will be here. Okay, so the next step, step 5 now, I believe we're on, if I'm not mistaken, yes, is the thesis statement, okay? So in the thesis statement, you basically gather your good points, your good ideas, and then you put them together in a sentence, okay? So here I go. All right, it's a little bit of thinking, making sure that I've got parallel grammar, making sure that I have clear points. This is my thesis. So many individuals falter in their New Year's resolutions because they lack discipline and prioritization. However, with a step-by-step system and good scheduling, goals can be achieved. Okay, body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2. It's a 2-sentence thesis for me in this case, which is totally fine. You can do that. Okay, so that works. Now I have my setup for the essay. Okay, and if I must, and I should, I want to show that this is a first-person essay, so I'm going to include my opinion. So I believe many individuals falter in their New Year's resolutions because they lack discipline and prioritization. However, with a step-by-step system and good scheduling, goals can be achieved. That's a Band 9 thesis, okay? Arda writes, millions of individuals fail achieving their New Year's resolutions because they lose faith in their targets, which need time to progress. Nevertheless, getting motivated by other people helps to achieve their goals. Yeah, careful with that, people. Careful with depending on society and other people to achieve your goals. I think it's very important that first and foremost you rely on yourself to achieve your goals, especially big goals, long-term goals. Okay, all right. Oh, Arda, you're thinking it's the hook. No, interestingly, you should always come up with a thesis before you come up with the hook. The hook is not that bad. The hook is just using the topic sentence. Carolina put the emoji for a jogging person. Okay. All right, Gunkai Ren says breaking goals into smaller ones. Yeah, that's the step-by-step system, Gunkai. So absolutely. All right. Okay, everyone, so waiting for those thesis statements. In the meantime, I'm going to start in on this introduction. So introductory paragraph, all right? Introductory paragraph, as many of you already know, has a hook plus background plus the thesis. And when you have all this good planning, it comes together quite nicely, quite quickly. Okay. Every year, millions of people are depressed because they fail their New Year's resolution. I guarantee that if you write that, you are on your way to a band 9 for this essay, and you're catching your reader's attention, and you're introducing the topics, right? So this is a simple sentence. Every year, millions of people are depressed because they fail their New Year's resolution. You create sympathy with your reader, or even empathy, right? Many of us fail at some point or some years in our New Year's resolution, and then that creates empathy. They're like, oh yeah, like me back in 2015 when I really wanted to lose that weight, and I just failed. I gained like another 10 pounds after eating all that Christmas turkey. So this is a very catchy kind of hook, if you will. Okay, and some people say, oh, the IELTS, you don't need a hook. That's not true. If you want to band 7, 8, 9, it's a really good idea to have a hook. We've talked to IELTS examiners and markers, people who mark the IELTS exam. We've talked to people. We have a video on our YouTube channel with a person, Adam, who was an IELTS examiner for 10 years in Korea and in Canada. And he said, yeah, anytime I was looking at a good high band essay, it had a hook. And he's like, yeah, nobody says you have to have it, but good essays have it. Okay, Pravash, welcome to our group of members. Okay, Kyber says millions of individuals every year fail their New Year's resolution. Yeah, very good, Kyber. That's synonymous with me, and it's perfect grammar. It's very good. Arda says in the beginning of every year, millions of people have targets for their new year. Arda, that's not the complete topic, right? So Kyber, look at how Kyber says they fail their New Year's resolution. Remember, your topic is failing the New Year's resolution, right? Okay. Preeti says many individuals are unable to stick to New Year's resolutions because they have a lack of discipline and prioritization. Nevertheless, a small step towards the goal and time management can help achievement. Not can be achieved, can help achievement. Okay, but otherwise, that's a very good thesis, Preeti. Very good thesis. Baljit writes, every annum, a lot of people end up depressed just because of failing their New Year's resolution. I wouldn't say just because, Baljit. I would say because of failing their New Year's resolution. Okay. Rashika, thesis. I believe that reasons for unsuccessful New Year's achievements are negligence and prioritization. Those are the same, Rashika. Negligence and prioritization are kind of two sides of the same coin, okay? So careful with that. However, it can be achieved with a step-by-step system and maintaining a schedule. Yeah, okay, good. Ren says a number of people are frustrated because of failing their New Year's resolution each year. Use the word New Year's resolution, Ren. We thought about that during the planning, so let's use it. Okay, all right. All right. Janiel, I don't actually see your thesis. Okay, there it is. The root reasons for most individuals, for what, Janiel? Watch your order of information there. The root reasons for most individuals failing New Year's resolutions are pessimism and neglect. These can be overcome by creating a proper schedule and by being realistic. You don't have parallel grammar there, Janiel. Okay? By creating a proper schedule and a realistic set of goals, okay? Or realistic goals. That would be more parallel grammar. All right. Okay. The background here. So BG background. Background comes from the definitions, right? So here we have what is a New Year's resolution? It's a major goal that challenges individuals, right? So we can just even copy that. So when you have good planning, you're actually writing your essay, okay? So, individuals set major goals that change that should change their lives. I'm just showing you how you can use your planning for your essay. Change their lives for better. And we'll take that and put it here. Okay, so individuals set major goals during the start of January that should change their lives for the better. Okay, that's our definition of this topic, this idea of New Year's resolutions. Why it's important. Achieving these goals helps to leads to happiness and improving society, right? So if we can all achieve our New Year's resolutions, we just have better communities, better societies. That's the importance. So when you're thinking about background, think about what are we talking about and why is it important? Okay, again, background, what are we talking about? Why is it important? Achieving these goals leads to happiness and improving society, right? If you are healthier, happier, then society will become healthier, happier as well. So achieving New Year's resolutions is something that, you know, society should really focus on and individuals should really focus on. And now I can just take this thesis here, okay, and copy that in, and I have my introductory paragraph. Okay, so there it is. Okay, let me read it, review it, make sure it's correct, make sure I don't have redundancy, make sure I'm not going off topic. So every year, millions of people are depressed because they fail their New Year's resolution. Individuals set major goals during the start of January that should change their lives for the better. Achieving these goals, let's change that to targets, leads to happiness and improving society. I believe many individuals falter in their New Year's resolutions because they lack discipline and prioritization. However, with a step-by-step system and good scheduling, goals can be achieved. All right, that is my introductory paragraph. I definitely feel confident that I am able to now write a good essay quite quickly, in fact, with this information. And I'm off to the races. Now, of course, we took a full class to do this, but getting to this introduction should take you about the first 10 minutes, 10, maybe even 12 minutes. It's okay. Because when you have a good introduction, the rest of the essay will go smoothly and quickly, okay? And we're going to do that tomorrow, everyone. So we're going to finish this essay tomorrow. Kyber, for the background, people around the world create plans at the beginning of January to improve the quality of their lives. Achieving the goals is vital for each person since it leads to self-satisfaction. You don't need every Kyber there, just self-satisfaction. Overall, it's very good though, Kyber. It's a very well-written background. Okay. Yeah, Baljeet, I do recommend reading each of your paragraphs before starting the next one. If you can do that, you'll probably have a lot better essay. Okay. Okay. All right, members, thank you so much for your contributions, and for everybody watching, stick with your New Year's resolutions. Make a plan and make a priority. Say, okay, if my New Year's resolution is to exercise, I have to exercise. If I feel hungry, I'm not gonna go eat. I'm gonna go exercise first. You can last without food, even for a day, believe it or not. Water, yeah, drink lots of water, but food, if you don't have food for a few hours, it's not gonna kill you. So go exercise, drink lots of water, and then eat food after. It'll taste better. So prioritize, right? That's really important. That's what I always do. It works for me. So whatever happens, I stick to my goal, okay? So don't lose your goal in the face of adversity. If your goal is to get a great IELTS score, then make sure to show up to these live classes every day. Use our websites. Use the discount code PASSIELTS on our websites, aehelp.com and glshelp.com, and you can do that simply by clicking on the big red button that's just above my head there. And yes, that's a sales pitch, but at the same time, it's also true. Okay, so you have to stick to your goals. You have to invest in your goals. For academic IELTS, go to aehelp.com. And again, click on this big red button. We help thousands of students achieve their New Year's resolutions every single year, and we're here to help you do the same. That's it for now, but I'm back in 30 minutes, everyone, with some reading, okay? So we're gonna be doing reading. Everybody will be able to join that chat. So make sure to come back in 30 minutes and keep up with your goals, especially if it is to pass the IELTS exam. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the class. Again, everybody check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and glshelp.com for general IELTS. Invest in your learning. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria for now. See you soon.